Hello and welcome. I am Kalpana Singhal, Editor-in-Chief, CXO TV, Tech Plus Media. It's my pleasure to welcome you all in this very interesting fireside chat around the evolving partnership between banks and fintechs. We have a very special guest, Ankit Khare, VP Technology, Shivalik Small Finance Bank, to analyze the evolving partnerships between banks and fintechs and the banking landscape is going to evolve over the next couple of years. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Khare.
Thank you, Kalpana.
So, over the last 2 years, BFSI sector has been facing continuous disruptions from the pandemic as well as the technology. What are the top three challenges you see of late in the banking business?
I think collection and recovery continues to remain a problem for banks and NBFCs, and so is maintaining the NPA numbers. Moreover, since the customers now have kind of got used to doorstep banking services or services over online channels, it has become important for everybody around to get on to that digital bandwagon quickly, and start offering their services accordingly. Um, and this is while this might not be a challenge for large players. It definitely pinches the smaller ones who have all who have been kind of banking upon the physical interactions to get their business. From an employee standpoint, I think maintaining the employee productivity while ensuring the compliances to regulatory and cyber security norms, while getting them to work remotely remains a concern. And banks like us have been investing heavily on building the controls and checks around that. We recently, rolled out virtual desktop infrastructure. We have put across, things like web proxies, where we can, monitor and throttle the kind of, the data exchanges that are happening, from the remote locations. So
Yeah.
yes, this is an area that continues to be in the focus when the banks are deciding what to do next.
Yeah, absolutely. So the financial landscape is changing with the fintechs and startups that are highly agile and cloud enabled, putting enormous pressure on financial service institutions to transform their business models at the same time drive cost efficiency, customer centricity, trust and compliance. So how do you see fintechs and as a competition or as a collaborator to enhance your processes and become an agile organization?
Very, very interesting question, Kalpana. Um, so what makes fintechs, stand out is not just the product and services that they offer. It is the kind of experience that they are offering their, customers that is very different from what the customers are used to, be having from the banks. Now, this is something that, I'm sure banks are finding it very difficult to, catch up on, since that has never been their strong point, and that is pushing them to revisit their business and take strategies. Having said that, I think the product offering that the fintechs are bringing to the table is, these are only as strong and mature as the banking system that have been powering them. So essentially what I see is an opportunity to collaborate, co-build, and offer best of the both worlds to the customer, while strengthening each other.
Yeah. So, why do you think that collaboration with fintech or insurtech companies is crucial for banks in India?
So, like I was saying, growth in fintech sectors in India has been rapid, of late, and we have kind of become the third largest, fintech ecosystem just behind US and China. Areas such as digital lending, insurance, neo-banking, has seen a lot of, small and large fintech players proving their mettle. So, like what I just mentioned about banks needing to catch up, they may attempt at matching the experience they are offering to the customer. What is more practical, I would say, is to collaborate and leverage the popularity that these fintechs have and the outreach that they have built to gain access to customer segments and regions beyond banks physical presence to offer bespoke and curated products and services to the customer, and also explore the possibilities to cross sell. I think that is going to be a better proposition for the banks to work upon.
Yeah, yeah. So with pandemic, like we know, has driven focus of enterprises towards technology and digital transformation. So according to you, what are the trends you see in the technology adoption in the BFSI sector?
Yeah, there are many. I mean, I'll just try to highlight a few key ones. So, banks are now looking at offering their banking services over, unconventional or non-traditional rather channels such as, WhatsApp. That's going to be, making customers, journey with the bank much simpler. I did touch upon the recovery and collection part, which is going to be a concerning area. Now, on that note, banks have, now they are adopting a lot of, tools to automate, the customer interactions, sending across reminders or, sending across payment links, allowing the customers to pay back. And now that the physical interaction has been, limited, banks have picked up pace on rolling out online authentication possibilities like Aadhaar OTP or biometric video KYC, things like digital or e-signs, which is going to be allowing the banks to pick up the customers online and also allowing them to run their business without the need of going down to customers and getting papers signed and things like that. And the business processes are also getting aligned accordingly. RBI has helped in bringing this up with by allowing video KYC as a medium to complete a full KYC, which was not the case earlier. And with that, we did touch upon possibilities of integration or partnerships with fintechs and insurtechs. Now that would only happen if you have a very strong, integration on an API capability. So, strong middleware or, is something that every bank or NBFCs are aiming towards. Open API banking is a term that we, more or less we all of us use, and banks have been targeting to achieve that. Automation again is important aspect, especially now that the banks want to become more efficient and also to support straight through processing over APIs for most of their functions. And lastly, coming down to the infra part, I think it's the cloud-based offerings, have picked up of late, and they've become an important part of technology strategies since they offer scalable, cost-effective, risk-free to a lot extent, and a very quick way to roll out new functionalities for both internal and external customers. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you rightly said that automation helps accomplish mundane tasks without much intervention, human intervention, reducing cost and increasing efficiency. So how aggressive are the banks in automating their processes?
Um, so banks have definitely picked up pace on their automation journey, with the push coming primarily from the digital transformation and the need to offer better customer experience. So while improving efficiency and reducing cost definitely is the underlining thought. The focus has been on cutting down the resource utilization in the routine and the back office jobs, and realigning that workforce into driving innovation, especially in the digital banking space. Also, like I mentioned, open API banking requires most of the functionalities to be exposed over APIs, which necessitates any manual intervention to be done away with, to support STP, if banks actually wish to go digital in the true sense.
Yeah. So you think we have reached to an extent wherein a customer doesn't has to go at all to the bank to open an account, and everything can be done digitally, whether it is I mean through video KYC as you said, and I mean none of the documents are to be signed physically.
So if you see banks like us, we have been onboarding almost 95% of our customers over digital channels, and also partly through assisted digital mediums, using Aadhaar based authentication, video KYC and things like that. For banks like us, it is also very important that we strengthen this model, since our physical outreach is limited. This being digital or being present over online channels helps us go pan India in terms of offering our product and services. There are still use cases where physical interactions are still required. I'm sure they are mandated by the regulatory bodies, especially around the corporate use cases, which I'm sure the regulatory bodies are also working towards. But for banks like us, I'm sure going 100% digital is something that is possible, if not now, in coming months or coming years. But definitely there would be some quantum of assisted digital that would definitely to would be there to take everybody along this journey.
Yeah, so you're quite optimistic about going 100% digital. All right. So, what are your recent initiatives around digital transformation? We'd love to know about that.
So like I was saying, I think we at Shivalik, we are working towards our vision to reimagine retail banking through a digital lens. Having built a very robust and a scalable underlying technology stack, a lot of our focus of late has been to strengthen our BaaS offering, banking as a service, allowing us to partner with fintechs and neobanks and solve various customer cohorts. We have built capabilities to end-to-end service our customers, including onboarding, opening accounts, both CASA, term deposits, doing a managing a life cycle, loan life cycle, payments, cards, to name a few. And we've already working with some major fintechs and API aggregators in the country in the space of neo banking, gold loans, agri loans, microfinance, deposits, etc. And this is not just for an external use case, even internally also we are using the API stack that we have built to onboard and service our customers across various online channels that we have, including internet banking, mobile banking, IVR, SMS, web, agent, or tab banking. So that has been our focus for last year, and we are going to be continuing investing into it and strengthening it further.
That's really nice to know that you're leveraging fintechs and neobanks to expand your offerings and improving your overall customer experience. That's nice. And so, small finance banks often face challenges on certain restrictions and customer trust against their bigger nationalized counterparts. How is Shivalik Small Finance Bank benefiting with focus on digital transformation?
So, I completely in line with your thoughts there. When we are being pitched against our larger nationalized counterparts, it becomes difficult to, get the customers to bank with you, especially considering the fact the brand value and the presence, especially around. So we have been working, towards limiting our customers' need to actually physically come down to any of our branches to do business with us. Like I was saying, we have built the capabilities to onboard customers over our online channels. Like I was saying, 95% of them are already getting onboarded through that. Even while I'll say that we are trying to move towards a complete digital bank, but the physical interaction, whatever bare minimum that is required, that also we are trying to move to a more assisted digital model rather than just a physical interaction. So even if you walk down to our branches, you'll see a lot of setups around kiosks and handle terminals being around to onboard and service your need rather than you interacting somebody face to face. So this is definitely help us to go pan India with our offerings and the strategic the partnerships that we have done. with fintech players, the neobanks, which has this has helped us leverage their presence, the brand building that they've already done, to offer our services rather than putting us out as an independent player. So we have kind of piggybacking on the presence that they have built to reach out to the customers and offer our product and services to them, and allowing them to exchange or do business with us without actually the need to come down to any of our branches. That's how we are trying to mitigate those challenges. Other use cases that we are building across around cards, activation of various services, service request. We are putting everything more or less on our digital platforms. We recently went live with allowing our customers to activate their debit cards online rather than need to walk down to any of our ATMs. So that definitely has helped us sustain the growth amongst the larger players that are there in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is your outlook for BFSI industry over the next 3 years, and what are the key technologies that you would focus upon in 2022 and beyond?
Um, there's been a strong momentum towards the transformation that we've seen, and I believe this momentum is going to continue in the year, and in fact, it should well into next 2 to 3 years. We see, the BFSI space continue to evolve and reshape the way we bank. Fintechs, neobanks are definitely going to lead with a larger market share from what they have at the moment. If we compare ourselves from other developed markets, I think fintechs still have a lot to catch up. There's a lot of space that they can evolve. There's a lot of space for more players, in fact, in this segment. While the collaboration with banks definitely is going to continue. Both of these entities have very strong areas that they continue to develop and then collaborate and offer better to the end customers. For the banks, I think it is going to be the focus is going to be on developing the non-traditional or alternate channels, for banking. We have seen banks offer services over WhatsApp, banks services over voice recognition, over Alexa, or the Google counterpart. So these channels definitely going to continue to evolve because it's a new age. This is all about the new age banking. And on the the physical banking, that where we talk about in customers going down to the bank branches and kind of doing with their banking needs. I think that is going to kind of move towards more towards an assisted digital model. We have already started doing it, but this is going to happen across the country. You'll see less resources being deployed at physical branches, and the banks would keep investing into having more and more kiosk and automated setups that are going to be around in these branches. And again, open banking and SaaS continues to take the lead. So, very interesting year to come. I would say, we are looking at a very disruptive, outlook in terms of banking in India and obviously globally as well. Pandemic did push on a lot of aspects and did accelerate, but from here on, it is the customer requirement, the customer expectations that is going to be driving this change. Technologies, very interesting technologies that have come up recently. Open banking and BaaS takes the lead. We have robotic process automation when we talk about automating various mundane and back office and routine activities for banks to be as agile as possible to to change, to transform, and respond to customer needs. AI ML is another set of technologies that continue to penetrate deeper and deeper. We have seen some key use cases like fraud risk management and all, where AI ML has done a tremendous job in kind of um, moving away from bringing it off from a fixed rule based engines to a more dynamic way of getting the identifying the risk, learning customer habits, and risk scoring and things like that. Data analytics again is what in fact we are also kind of focusing to study our business, and also our the customer spending habits to offer products which are very specifically tuned to their needs, rather than investing into wider segments. Let us pinpoint and go there and offer services which are in line. And it could be obviously from it could vary from segment to segment, region to region. So that's where the data analytics comes into play. And as a very important technology development that we have seen in recent years, that's blockchain. I think banks like us, we are closely following the development around blockchain and the use cases. And we see a lot of these use cases evolving and coming closer to to us in the form of touching upon the traditional banking products and services that we have. So it would be interesting to see how it evolves, and what point of time that smaller players like us jump to that to the blockchain bandwagon and start adapting it.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Metaverse is something which is trending, and how do you think, what do you think, like, metaverse application in the financial sector will actually revolutionize the financial sector in coming days?
Um, it's a very interesting use case. You know what? We have been reading a lot about metaverse. In fact, there were thoughts about bringing this entire thing. The experience of walking down to a branch and interacting with somebody over a metaverse. While it's very interesting to hear all this, I'm not very sure at this moment. How practical it is going to be when you are actually getting all these services on your phone, on your laptops, over Alexa. And I'm not sure how metaverse is going to impact that experience. But since it is evolving, I'm sure it would be very interesting to see what more it can bring, and if it is going to be actually solving any customer challenges. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So overall, we can say that fintechs have already revolutionized banking in India, though it began with suspicion and concerns. Traditional banks and financial service companies no longer necessarily look at fintechs as intruders in the field, but instead often consider them valuable partners now. and
That's
uh,
how it should be. Like we were touching upon. There's no point fighting against them. I'm sure they bring a very strong focus into areas, and they are evolving like anything. I'm sure it is for banks. It's much safer to work with them and co-create, co-build, and bring the next set of transformation in the Indian banking industry.
Yeah, in fact, continued collaboration and partnership between fintech companies and banks are essential for the future of the financial services industry and the technology sector. So,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Ankit. It was a complete pleasure interacting with you and really appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot, Kalpana. Thank you to the team involved, and looking forward to many more such interactions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please follow hashtag CXOTV Digital Disruptors and stay tuned to our social media channels. Stay safe and take care.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.